Hello and welcome to Ask Me Tuesdays at the Truth Booth. This is the day that I am going to take questions that you've sent in to me and try to answer them. Now, of course, it's only going to be my opinion. You can take it or leave it, but just as an older woman, maybe you need somebody to ask questions to. So I poured you a cup of tea in my little house on the prairie in Ecuador and just want you to sit down and just enjoy a little chat with me. Okay, I have my little bucket here and I have a lot of questions in there and I'm just gonna pick one. Okay, old, need glasses. Why does it seem that older women don't care or don't want to be a part of younger women's lives? I need and want a mentor. Whoa, okay, that is a good question. And I'll give you my observances, but honestly, there's just a lot of answers to that question. I remember being much younger than I am now and really longing for older women in my life and mentors and somebody to encourage me when I was bogged down with kids and life and not feeling like I got that. So I totally understand this question. But in growing older and in observing, I think there's a lot of different answers to that. Let me just try to think of a few of them in our short time here. One is, I think that as we get older, we kind of feel like we become a little bit unwanted, unneeded, and even invisible. It's the younger people's ideas that seem to be what everybody's attracted to. Younger people are so involved and so engrossed in their life that really for a time, we forget about parents and we forget about older people. And so I think when that happens, a lot of times older women just start stepping back. I know that happened to me. Just start stepping back and kind of playing that game of seeing like if anybody really cared, they would notice if I stepped back. Really nobody's caring. So fault on both parts in that we kind of do get forgotten a lot of times, even though we may have raised more children than a young woman we're talking to has. Kind of we're looked at as being archaic and that our advice is so outdated. And now we have all this information on the internet. And so why do I even need to ask you? Besides that, what do you know about raising a kid today? Well, all those attitudes, I think, make older women just want to step back. And honestly, quite honestly, I'll say it. It's a truth booth. It hurts. It really hurts because we're older. We've been through a lot of war zones ourselves. We do understand how you feel. Maybe our advice isn't exactly what you want to hear, but it hurts. So that's one reason, I think. It's just that we get hurt and we start stepping back and the invitation doesn't really come to step forward and we're kind of afraid to step forward. That's one thing. The other thing I think is that older women, on the other hand, when they start feeling like they're not needed or wanted, they just find a life for themselves. And so they're doing this and they're doing that and they're doing pretty soon they don't have time for you. Unfortunately, true confessions, I think that that's what happens with older women, that they feel pushed out and so they don't want to sit home and mope and so they find something to do and then they end up being too busy to help. So I think that's what you see a lot of too. As far as a mentor, I just want to challenge you, no matter what age you are watching this. It was revolutionary to me when I realized, a lot younger than I am now, as I was hoping and hoping for an older mentor, that you know what, I'm older than somebody. Even when I was 20, I'm older than somebody. Even when I was 30, I'm older than somebody. And what am I doing to be an older mentor to somebody younger than me? Maybe that's what should be driving me more than constantly looking for this person to speak into my life. And that revolutionized my life because I got my eyes off of that and really started looking around me for who can I mentor, who can I encourage, who can I pour into, who can I be there for. So I think that's the question we need to ask more. Now, Not saying we don't need older women to speak into our lives. I would just say, start observing around you, because I guarantee you there are older women around you who would love to be invited into your life. They would love to be invited into your life, not just to be a babysitter and help you clean the house, but to encourage you, for you to really share your hardships with. Look for women that are caring and loving. Look for women that are there on the things that are happening that you're at. Look for the ones that are there, because those are probably the ones who want to be involved in your life. And invite them into your life. Invite them to come over and in the middle of your chaos and have a cup of tea or have a cup of coffee in the middle of the mess, because they've been there, okay? You go into their homes now and it's all neat and clean. Mine's pretty okay right now, okay? Because we don't have any kids around to mess it up, okay? That's why. When we were your age, believe me, most of our houses weren't all tidy like they are now. My goodness, we could hardly get anything done in that point of life. So trust them that they're going to understand that. And if they start being judgmental, help us by reminding us and saying like, oh, I'm sure you remember when you had all these little kids, it's just hard to get stuff done. It's just hard. But I wanted to have you over anyway, even though my house is messy. Help us by reminding us, okay? So anyway, that's why, some of the reasons why I think that older women aren't involved in your life. I think it's a two-way thing. But I'm encouraging you, invite them to be involved in your life. Please invite us to be involved in your life. We really do want to. Most of us. Most of us. Don't let a bad experience with one or two make a statement about all of us, because most of us want to be involved in your life. Okay, we'll see you next Tuesday with another question. Bye-bye.